Good afternoon, everyone. This is Lady Dragon speaking. Now we're gonna do the executive order of Donald when he said that he's switching the Gulf of something. There's no Donald just put something. White House special award to able announce leaving Russian airspace. Not exactly sure what this is all about. I'm gonna look at it later. Well, it's Tuesday, February 11, and it's 1:35 in the afternoon. Okay, we're gonna do the executive order of Donald signing the Gulf of Mexico switching to Gulf of America. And actually look at this. Let's go here. Here's when doesn't work the way I want. I'm gonna put this like this. Just give me a second here. Well, when I was preparing the live, I saw that it's already switched, and I also saw tons of flame too. Let's go and see this. Look at that. I have never seen that many plane. This is military plane over Europe. Look at that. 101. Before there were 111. I have never seen so many planes up in the air. This is all military stuff. Something big is going on today, let me tell you. Jet flying everywhere. Well, I look at this here too. Here too. 284 planes. Military plane, chopters up in the air. Something is growing today. Something big is growing today. While I was doing the other live, while Donna was talking to King of Jordan, was preparing this live, there were 16 P8 up in the air. It's still there? Yeah. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Plus 2 P3. Never seen this in my life. That many P8. Usually you have 1, you have 2, you have 3, maybe 4, maximum 5. 16. Plus 2 P3 on top of everything. Regardez tout ça, là. Wow, il y a quelque chose de grave qui se passe, là. 16 P8 dans les airs. Ça, c'est communication. Puis là, il y a plein de KR-35. Ça refuel les jets. Regardez là, il y en a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Il y a 8, les K-35, ça refuel les jets. The K-35, that's refuel rats. See, rats. Deeps. We need to check these names. Something is going on. Something big is going on. Pause. Il y a quelque chose de grave qui se passe. Wow. Les P8 là. Type. Des V12, c'est des. Attends, je regarde ça là. Look at this. This is crazy stuff. This is really crazy. Hey! Attention là. Ça, c'est gentil. Les V22 là, ça c'est des. Ça c'est des avions qui volent dans les airs. Hop. Je n'exprime pas ça comme faux là. V22 are planes Osprey that flies up. Okay, what do you mean by that? You'll see. Good. Look, this is a V-22. Can lift up in the air like a chopper. Les V là, les V22, ça peut voler, ça peut attirer, voler en hauteur, comme des chopters. C'est un avion, mais c'est comme des chopters. En tout cas, c'est bâtard là, mais c'est ça. Ça s'appelle des V22. It's called the Osprey V-22. They can lift. So, look at that. That's a V-22. Okay? And look at that here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Crazy shit. Il y en a 7 dans les airs. Wow, j'aime ça. J'en reviens pas. Il y a quelque chose qui se passe, là. Quelque chose de grave. Puis ça, c'est sans compter là, que je peux même pas voir les moi, je te dis qu'il y a des. Je sais pas comment le faire une journée, mais là, je sais pas. Les Black Hawk. Bon, regardez ici, là. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 Black Hawk. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is something is going on. Something is going on. Something big is going on. Tant mieux. Bon. On va retourner on va aller checker ça, là, la conférence de journaux. Wow. Ah ben, tout ça pour dire que. Attendez une seconde. Je vais aller dire ça. Bon, je l'ai checké. C'est ça que je checkais, là. I wanted to check something. And this is what I wanted to check. And it's confirmed that Flight Radar has changed the name. Gulf of America. Look. Gulf of America. It's been changed. Donald says change on Gulf of America. It's changed. I don't know if it's changed on the DuckDuck. Let's see. Let's see. Gulf of. No, let's go to maps. Let's see if it's changed there. Là, j'ai lu toute une histoire avec l'affaire du rabbit, là. Freaks me out. Gulf of Mexico. They didn't change. But I know Google did. Let's go. Map. Google. Map. Let's go check. What the hell is this? It's Montreal downtown. So let me see. Yeah, look, they've changed. Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America. Well, I heard that there's a spaceship there. That's what the big fuss is about, this name. J'ai entendu dire qu'un spaceship, là. C'est que ça a l'air que c'est ça, c'est tout la fuckery avec la name, là. C'est pareil que c'est à cause qu'il y a un spaceship là-dedans. Je sais pas si c'est vrai, là. Time will tell. I'm not sure if it's true or not, but it's a big deal. Bon, photo de quoi, là, toi, ouais? Jury duty. On n'aura pas de nouvelles de la journée de Dory pour ça. Bon, on continue nos affaires. Regardez ici, là. Gulf of America. Regardez ici, là. C'est Gulf of America. Google a changé, mais pas DuckDuckGo. Regardez, là. Check. DuckDuckGo did not change, but Google did. Google did, and Flight Radar did as well. See, and ADS, but they don't put the name of the ocean. So, but look at the planes. This is crazy stuff. Crazy, crazy stuff. All that we're gonna look at another day. Bon. Bon, bon, bon. Okay, let's go check here. I have everything ready. Now screw up everything. Hold on. Bon, là on va écouter Donald. Il va faire l'executive order pour signer le Gulf of America. On va voir ce qu'il a dit. Il a fait ça dimanche en s'en allant au Super Bowl. He did this Sunday on his way to the Super Bowl. So let's listen. I'll talk to you after.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, sir.
How are you? Nice to see you.
You good? Good? Yes.
Are you all set?
Yep.
You know, we're flying over right now. We're flying over a thing called the Gulf of America. And I'm signing a proclamation, and perhaps you could define that.
This is a proclamation declaring today, February 9th, 2025, as the first ever Gulf of America Day. This follows the President's executive order issuing a name change from the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America.
And we're flying right over it right now. So we thought this would be appropriate. Even bigger than the Super Bowl. This is a big thing. And almost everybody now has assented to that.
Attention on board. Ladies and gentlemen, if you could please direct your attention out the right side of the aircraft. Air Force One is currently in international waters for the first time in history, flying over the recently renamed Gulf of America. Please enjoy the flight, and we are now about to head westbound to Super Bowl 59.
Wow, he did that well. That's a good shot. Isn't that nice? You know, what about make America great again, right? That's what we care about. Okay, here we go. So this is a famous pen now, and we'll put it with something. I'll ask you to do whatever you think we should do with it, Mr. Secretary. Do you want to talk about, you know, Doug, Secretary of the Interior, and also working with Chris Wright on extracting vast amounts of oil and gas and making our country rich? Would you like to say something, Doug?
Well, with the Gulf of America, this is a historic day. We want to thank President Trump. His executive order is what set this in motion. We signed a secretarial order as Secretary of Interior directing the U.S. Geologic Survey, who is responsible for the database, which is the Geographic Names Informational System. And so just prior to this signing, if you will, the button was pushed. It became official with this proclamation to call today Gulf of America Day. But now it's going out. As we're sitting here right now, our team is calling all the map providers, so Google Maps, Apple Maps, all the map people. That change will take effect this afternoon to Gulf of America. So again, fantastic. Thank you, President Trump, for setting this all in motion with your executive order. It's an exciting, fun day, and great to do this as we're flying over the Gulf of America.
We thought it would be very appropriate. We thought it would be appropriate. Catherine, thank you very much for being here.
So happy
A
to
very
be here.
important part of his life. And who knows what would have happened to it without you. It might not have been good. Here you go. Okay.
Have you talked to Mexico about this? Do they have
Actually, interestingly, I've never spoken to him about it. It was our call. And I have not spoken to him about, I've spoken to him about many other things, but I haven't really talked to him about this. They have never brought it up. I'm a little surprised at that, but they've never brought it up.
Sir, can you tell us about your conversation with Vladimir Putin?
I don't want to do that now. No, we're trying to end that war. It's a war that would have never happened if I were president. Would have never happened. But we're making progress, but I can't tell you.
You suffered a couple of court losses, Mr. President, and J.D. Vance said judges aren't allowed to control the executive power. What's your take on that?
But we're going to see what happens. We have a long way to go, and we're talking about fraud, waste, abuse, and when a president can't look for fraud and waste and abuse, we don't have a country anymore. So we're very disappointed with the judges that would make such a ruling, but we have a long way to go. We have to look. We have to find all of the fraud that's going on. We have tremendous fraud, tremendous waste, and tremendous abuse, and theft, by the way. And the day you're not allowed to look for theft and fraud, etc., then we don't have much of a country. So no judge should frankly be allowed to make that kind of a decision. It's a disgrace.
Mr. President, Gulf of America, Canada, Greenland, Gaza, all these are very muscular foreign policy. How does this align with America First?
Because it makes us bigger, stronger, and better, and more protective. We need Greenland because of national security, international security, world peace. And we'll have to do that. Canada, we'll see what happens with Canada, but the people of Canada would be paying less than half of the tax. If you look at the tax, they're going to be paying less than half the tax. You know, they don't pay very much for military, and the reason they don't pay much is they assume that we're going to protect them. That's not an assumption they can make, because why are we protecting another country? Now, I love the people of Canada. We have a great relationship. But if they became our 51st state, it would be the greatest thing they could ever do. It would be unbelievable. It would be a cherished state. And think of how beautiful that country would be without that artificial line running right through it. Somebody drew it many years ago with a ruler, just a line. You look at how beautiful that is, wow, it would be very exciting. But if you look at Canada, it would be cherished as a 51st state. They don't pay their share of military in NATO. They pay very little for military. They're not protected at all. And the reason is they think we're going to protect them. The other thing is we subsidize them to the tune of about $200 billion a year. If we stop doing that, if we stop allowing them to make cars through tariffs and other things, cars, trucks, etc., what they make, they're not viable as a country.
So would you agree that it's a more aggressive foreign policy than your first term? And why is that?
It's more aggressive. It's better. Why? Because I think I've had a lot of experience. And in my first term, I was fighting everybody because they were very aggressive toward me. I always said survival and taking care of the country, not necessarily in that order. But I had to take care of the country, but I had a bunch of lunatics like Pelosi and all of these people. They fought me, and we won. And, you know, I had a lot of other things that were going on there. This time it's much more, they've lost their confidence. I think they've lost the respect of the American people with, you know, men participating in women's sports, with open borders, with transgender for everybody, for all the things that they're doing is so bad. When you allow people to empty their jails into your country with prisoners, killers, their mental institutions and insane asylums into our country, this is what they're doing. When you allow gang members from Venezuela, but many other countries coming into our country, we're getting them all out now. They've lost their credibility, but they've also lost their confidence. So I have more time to do what I want to do. So we're making our country larger. We're making our country stronger. And in the case of Canada, if this should happen, I don't know how they can do it without us, because without the U.S., Canada really doesn't have a country. They do almost all of their business with us. And if we say we want our cars to be made in Detroit, with a stroke of a pen, I can do that. And other things in addition to that would not allow Canada to be a viable country.
Mr. President, you said you didn't want to honor first responders today,
But you pardoned hundreds of people who assaulted first responders. Why did you do that?
Who?
You were going to meet with first responders today, but you pardoned people who assaulted first responders.
No, I pardoned people that were assaulted themselves. They were assaulted by our government. I pardoned J6 people who were assaulted by our government. That's who assaulted, and they were treated unfairly. There's never been a group of people in this country, outside of maybe one instance that I can think of, but I won't get into it, that were treated more horribly than the people of J6. So, no, I didn't assault, they didn't assault. They were assaulted, and what I did was a great thing for humanity. They were treated very, very unfairly. There's never been an incident like it.
Unfair, sir, unfair. Two foreign policy questions. On Putin again, you realize if you don't clarify that, everyone's going to assume you're talking to President Putin regularly? Are you?
Mention is something.
So is it?
It makes sense. Well, I don't want to talk about it. And if we are talking, I don't want to tell you about the conversation. It's too early. But I do believe we're making progress. We want to stop the Ukraine-Russia war. And I want to stop it just because I hate to see all these young people being killed. The soldiers are being killed by the hundreds of thousands.
So you're starting to put together a plan for like a peace formula or for some sort of resolution?
We're talking to both sides.
Okay. And then on Japan, are you okay with having a foreign country having a controlling interest in a U.S. steel company?
Well, let's look at this. When I came here, they were going to buy it, and Biden was going to approve it. All of a sudden, Biden didn't because he heard I wasn't going to. I don't want U.S. steel being owned by a foreign country.
Interest is okay?
They can have they don't have a controlling. They have an investment. All they're going to have is an investment.
Will it be a joint venture?
I don't mind an investment in a company, but especially U.S. Steel. U.S. Steel for 15 years was the greatest company in the world, the greatest #1 company in the world, and I'm not going to let another country buy. We had a great meeting on that, but they are allowed to invest in it, and that's different.
Mr. President, on tariffs, sir, you talked about reciprocal tariffs coming in this week. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? And are you announcing a plan for it this week, or will
I'll be
the tariffs
announcing.
themselves kick in this week?
I'll be announcing probably Tuesday or Wednesday at a news conference reciprocal tariffs, and very simply, it's if they charge us, we charge them. That's all.
When does it go into effect, sir?
Almost immediately, but I'll be announcing the details of it, highly detailed, and it'll be great for everybody, including the other countries. But if they are charging us 130% and we're charging them nothing, it's not going to stay that way.
This is on every country?
Every country will be reciprocal in this way.
Mr. President, can you confirm that
It won't affect everybody because there's somewhere we have similar tariffs. But the ones that are taking advantage of the United States, we're going to have it's reciprocity, it's reciprocal. We're going to have a reciprocal tariff. But we'll have a news conference Tuesday or Wednesday.
And just on the steel question, just so I understand you
We'll also
correctly.
be announcing steel tariffs on Monday.
Tomorrow?
Monday, yeah, tomorrow.
What countries will those go on?
Everybody, steel.
Including Canada and Mexico?
Yeah,
That exempt?
any steel coming into the United States is going to have a 25% tariff.
What about aluminum, sir?
Aluminum,
10%?
no, 25%.
25 for aluminum?
25 for both.
And on steel, sir, are you ruling out then Nippon Steel having a 51% stake or higher? They won't have a majority stake?
Nobody can have a majority stake for U.S. Steel. They can for other companies, but not for U.S. Steel. I think you agree with that, Doug. U.S. Steel was one of our great companies, and through a lot of stupidity and bad government and also bad management of the company, it lost that luster. But it's going to gain it back, and tariffs are going to help. Tariffs are going to make it very successful again. And I think it has good management now, too. Yeah.
Sorry, may I ask one, please? Can you tell me, can you confirm that you'll be meeting with MBS and CC of Egypt soon? Will that be at the White House, or are you speaking?
Well, I'll be meeting with all of them numerous times, by the way, but I'll be meeting with all of them. And yeah, I think that it's a big mistake to allow people, the Palestinians or the people living in Gaza, to go back yet another time. And we don't want Hamas going back. And think of it as a big real estate site. And the United States is going to own it and will slowly, very slowly, we're in no rush, develop it. We're going to bring stability to the Middle East, to a totally war-torn part of the Middle East. A part of the Middle East that has caused tremendous problem, the Gaza Strip. And we'll own it. It's totally demolished right now. It's a demolition site. It'll be reclaimed. It'll be leveled out, fixed up. There won't be anybody there. Hamas won't be there. We'll be building through other of the very rich countries in the Middle East. They'll be building some beautiful sites for the people, for the Palestinians to live in. They'll be living in harmony and peace probably for the first time in hundreds of years.
And just to clarify, I know you don't want to tell us about your conversation with President Putin, but can you clarify whether you had that since you've been in office, or whether it happened before you became president?
I've had it. Let's just say I've had it. And I expect to have many more conversations. We have to get that war ended.
Conversation with President
everyone, we're gonna listen to this. This is a resolution against the midnight rule. I'm not sure what does that mean, but I want to know what the hell is going on there. Let's listen for a minute. I don't know what's the midnight rule. We need to check this.
On this vote, the yeas are 216, the nays are 205. The resolution is adopted, and without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table. On this vote, the yeas are 216, the nays. For what purpose, gentlemen from Minnesota seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent to remove the gentleman from Georgia, Mr. Collins, as a co-sponsor of H.R. 452.
For what purpose, gentlemen from Minnesota seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent to remove the gentleman from Georgia, Mr. Collins, as a co-sponsor of H.R. 452.
Without objection.
And Mr. Speaker, I sent to the desk a privileged concurrent resolution and ask for its immediate consideration.
The clerk will report the concurrent resolution.
House Concurrent Resolution 11. Resolved by the House of Representatives, the Senate concurring, that the two houses of Congress assemble in the hall of the House of Representatives on Tuesday, March 4th, 2025 at 9 p.m. for the purpose of receiving such communication as the President of the United States shall be pleased to make to them.
Without objection, the concurrent resolution is agreed to and the motion to reconsider is laid on the table. For what purpose does the gentleman from California seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, by direction of the Democratic Caucus, I have a privileged resolution for consideration.
The clerk will report the resolution.
House Resolution 125. Resolved.
Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that the resolution be considered as read.
Without objection, the reading is suspended with. Without objection, the resolution is agreed to and the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
Mr. Speaker, I hereby remove my name as co-sponsor of H.Res. 23.
So ordered.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Something is going on over there. It's the house. This is live. All this is live, by the way. It's live. Quelque chose qui arrive là-bas, là. House passed bill to fast-track rolls back of Biden measures. That's the thing that's going on over there. So that's positive, I think. Well, I'm certain it's positive. I just don't know exactly what's going on. That's why we're listening to all this. I'm going to keep listening here, and we're going to continue with Donald now.
They'll be living in harmony and peace probably for the first time in hundreds of years.
And just to clarify, I know you don't want to tell us about your conversation with President Putin, but can you clarify whether you had that since you've been in office, or whether it happened before you became president?
I've had it. Let's just say I've had it. And I expect to have many more conversations. We have to get that war ended. It's going to end. We have to get it ended. And we have to get it ended soon. Should have never happened, would have never happened if I was president.
Mr. President, a couple of years ago, your vice president said that suggested that if the Supreme Court rules in a way you don't like, just let them enforce it. Do you agree with that?
Say the last part.
The vice president suggested that if the Supreme Court rules in a way that you don't like, they could just enforce it by themselves. Do you agree with that?
I don't know even what you're talking about. Neither do you. Who are you with?
Up close, sir.
Who?
Up close.
No wonder. I thought they died. Are they still around? I haven't read them in years. I thought they
Be in
died.
order.
All right, go ahead.
Members need to take.
Security clearances.
Republicans and Democrats, and that is set to get underway momentarily. We'll bring you that as it happens. Meantime, we also wanted to share this. It's an exclusive from Fox News, and we are expecting
the chair will now entertain requests for 1-minute speeches.
In just about an hour or so, that Representative Luna is going to be speaking alongside the Oversight Chairman, James Comer, talking about leading a new task force focused on the declassification President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., along with a number of other documents in the public interest. Now, the House Oversight Committee Chairman, James Comer, he appointed Representative Luna to chair the task force on the declassification of federal secrets. She is expected to focus on examining the declassification of materials in the public interest. So that also includes, per Fox News, the client list of Jeffrey Epstein, files relating to September 11th, the origins of COVID-19, UFOs, and much more. And according to Fox News Digital, Comer and Luna are sending letters to necessary agencies to kick off these declassification investigations. So we are expecting to hear from both at 3 p.m. Eastern time, but we did want to share what to expect. This is per Fox News. All right, time right now is 2:07 Eastern, 11:07 Pacific.
Wow, did you hear that? Okay, so now I have more information on the press conference. This is live, all these things. On Anna Paulina, she is going to be leading the task force to declassify everything. 9/11, GFK, Epstein, UFOs, at 3 o'clock. What the fuck, what kind of here? Fuck, it's already 2 o'clock. Well, it's two, we're gonna finish this, and then I'm gonna take a break. We're gonna do this at 3 o'clock, that's a certainty. Fait que là, tout le matin, ben, ça fait long, depuis la semaine passée, je le sais ça, je vous en parle depuis la semaine passée. Là, Anna Paulina, à 3h, donc dans 50 minutes, on va finir Donald, là. Donald va finir dans 15 minutes. On va voir, à 3h, on va voir Anna Paulina de la Floride. Elle va être en charge du task force qui vont déclassifier tous les papiers. Quand je te dis tout ce qui peut déclassifier, hein, qui n'a pas été détruit. JFK, 9/11, la liste de Epstein. Qu'est-ce que d'autre a dit? UFOs, c'est ça que je veux savoir. Là. Le reste des choses, je m'en fous. Là. Moi, ce que je veux savoir, c'est faire les UFOs. Je veux dire, là, je pense que je vais avoir mon spaceship bientôt. I'm telling you, I think I'm going to get my spaceship sooner than I think. Okay, let's go back to Donald. This is fantastic, beautiful news. Cannot wait to 3 o'clock. Ça va être super cool. Là. J'ai tellement hâte à 3 heures. Là, il a envoyé chier le journaliste, lui, là. Est-ce qu'il est drôle, Donald? On va écouter ça. Ouh, t'étais avec qui? Ah, je pensais que vous étiez mouru. Est-ce qu'il est drôle? Qu'est-ce que tu veux, toi? T'es qui, toi? Ouais, moi, je pensais que t'étais mouru.
Can you confirm that you'll be meeting with MBS and CC of Egypt soon? Will that be at the White House, or are you speaking?
Well, I'll be meeting with all of them numerous times, by the way, but I'll be meeting with all of them. And yeah, I think that it's a big mistake to allow people, the Palestinians or the people living in Gaza, to go back yet another time. And we don't want Hamas going back. And think of it as a big real estate site. And the United States is going to own it and will slowly, very slowly. We're in no rush development. We're going to bring stability to the Middle East, to a totally war-torn part of the Middle East, a part of the Middle East that has caused tremendous problem, the Gaza Strip, and we'll own it. It's totally demolished right now. It's a demolition site. It'll be reclaimed. It'll be leveled out, fixed up. There won't be anybody there. Hamas won't be there. We'll be building through other of the very rich countries in the Middle East. They'll be building some beautiful sites for the people, for the Palestinians to live in. They'll be living in harmony and peace probably for the first time in hundreds of years.
And just to clarify, I know you don't want to tell us about your conversation with President Putin, but can you clarify whether you had that since you've been in office, or whether it happened before you became president?
I've had it. Let's just say I've had it. And I expect to have many more conversations. We have to get that war ended. It's going to end, and we have to get it ended. And we have to get it ended soon. Should have never happened, would have never happened if I was president.
Mr. President, a couple of years ago, your vice president said that suggested that if the Supreme Court rules in a way you don't like, just let them enforce it. Do you agree with that?
Say the last part.
The vice president suggested that if the Supreme Court rules in a way that you don't like, they could just enforce it by themselves. Do you agree with that?
I don't know even what you're talking about. Neither do you. Who are you with?
Up close, sir.
Who?
Up close.
Oh, no wonder. I thought they died. Are they still around? I haven't read them in years. I thought they died. All right, go ahead. Who else?
On security clearances, you've been yanking a lot of them. Why does it make the country safer to take away the AG's security clearance? And is that a form of retribution?
If there's somebody, no. If there are people that we don't respect, if there are people that we thought that were breaking the law, came very close to it in previous years, we do it. And we've done it with some people. We've done it with Biden himself. We think our country is not as safe if you gave him clearance. We don't think he knows what he's doing. And what he's done to this country is a disgrace. And what he's done in terms of allowing criminals, murderers, drug lords into our country, people from mental institutions into our country, he should be ashamed of himself.
Is that a legally valid reason? On deportations, there's been some reporting that you've been upset that there haven't been more deportations. Can you clarify that?
I think they're doing an incredible job. It's very tough. Deportations, finding murderers is not easy. Some of them are actually very smart. They shouldn't be in our country. They wouldn't have been. We had beautiful, we just set records for closure. We have the strongest border we've had in many years, since my term. But even for many, many years, decades before that. They're doing an amazing job. I think Tom Homan's doing an amazing job. Kristi Noem's doing an amazing job. But it's not easy finding murderers who know they're being looked for. But we're sending out thousands of people. We're getting rid of thousands of criminals from our country.
So, do you expect to meet him in person anytime? Putin. Do you anticipate meeting with him in person?
I imagine I would be meeting with Putin, yes, at the right time. I think at the right time, at the appropriate time.
Mr. President, back on Gaza, the White House press secretary told us last week that you're committed to rebuilding Gaza. Steve Witkoff said that process would take 10 to 15 years. Does your commitment to rebuilding Gaza extend beyond your time in office?
I'm committed to buying and owning Gaza. As far as us rebuilding it, we may give it to other states in the Middle East to build sections of it. Other people may do it through our auspices. But we're committed to owning it, taking it, and making sure that Hamas doesn't move back. There's nothing to move back into. The place is a demolition site. It'll be, the remainder will be demolished. Everything's demolished. I mean, you can't live in those buildings right now. They're very unsafe. But we'll make it into a very good site for future development by somebody. We'll let other countries develop parts of it. It'll be beautiful. People can come from all over the world and live there. But we're going to take care of the Palestinians. We're going to make sure they live beautifully and in harmony and in peace, and that they're not murdered. This has been the most dangerous site anywhere in the world to live in. Hamas has been a disaster. And by the way, I have to tell you that I watched the hostages come back today, and they look like Holocaust survivors. They were in horrible condition. They were emaciated. It looked like many years ago, the Holocaust survivors. And I don't know how much longer we can take that when I watch that. I know we have a deal where we're supposed to get, they dribble in and keep dribbling in, but they are in really bad shape. They have been treated brutally, horribly. Even the ones that came out earlier, they were in a little bit better shape, but mentally they were treated so badly. Who could take that? You know, at some point, we're going to lose our patience. When I see that scene that I saw today with people coming out of helicopters and airplanes that are emaciated, that look like they haven't had a meal in a month. No reason for that, and I don't know how much longer we can take it.
Do you mean you want to recast the
I don't know how long we can take it. When I watch people that were healthy people a reasonably short number of years ago, and you look at them today, they look like they've aged 25 years. They literally look like the old pictures of Holocaust survivors. The same thing. I mean, the same thing. And I don't know how long we're going to take that.
Mr. President, have you gotten some advancement in your proposals for some of the Gulf or Arab nations to take some of the Palestinian people? And if not, like, what do you think the reason is for their hesitance? Is there some very honest reason that they've even told you privately, or that you think why they're hesitant to take the Palestinian people?
Why are they hesitant to take them? Because they never spoke to me. They spoke to other people. They didn't speak to me. When they speak to me, they're going to take them.
Is it because they think that you would not allow them to return to Gaza? Is that part of it?
They don't want to return to Gaza. If we could give them a home in a safer area, the only reason they're talking about returning to Gaza is they don't have an alternative. When they have an alternative, they don't want to return to Gaza. If they had a home that was safe, where you don't have Hamas threatening them, killing them, torturing them, they'd rather not return to Gaza. But right now, Gaza is the only alternative. As far as the other regions, the only reason they maybe don't act enthusiastic is they haven't talked to me. They talk to other people, but not to me. When they talk to me, they'll be enthusiastic.
And then on spending, you found some maybe questionable expenditures, or Elon Musk has found them?
Some questionable. The whole country looks like it's a fraud. It's fraud, waste, abuse, but it's a tremendous fraud. And what Elon and his group of geniuses have found is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And that's just in USAID. Soon we're going into education. You'll find the same thing but bigger. Soon we're going into the military, and you're going to find a lot of bad things happening there. You'll find it because our government has not functioned properly for many, many years, and we're going to make it function properly. We're even looking at treasuries. There could be a problem. You've been reading about that with treasuries. And that could be an interesting problem, because it could be that a lot of those things don't count. In other words, that some of that stuff that we're finding is very fraudulent. Therefore, maybe we have less debt than we thought of. Think of that. So a lot of things are happening, but Elon's doing an excellent job. We started with 12 guys with high IQs, and now we have 100 guys with very high IQs.
Do you think Congress has failed to do their oversight, or do you think your first administration, some of your cabinet agencies failed to do?
I think everybody failed. I think everybody failed.
Why does Elon's financial disclosure remain secret?
Because nobody's looking at that. We're looking at all the corruption that's taken place. I mean, his financial disclosure is largely the number of shares that he's got in very public companies, and that's not secret at all. If you read that, you'll see a lot. I mean, he talks about his whole thing. I read one where it really gave a very good history of him, but basically it's a number of shares times a certain stock price.
So why is that not public?
It is public. All you have to do is read it.
So on USAID, sir,
around the world, and the Biden administration, in every single one of their budgets, didn't keep up with the rate of inflation when it comes to funding the military. So there are things that need to be done to ensure that America is ready to face whatever threats exist in a very dangerous world. And the final issue that will be addressed in this budget resolution is the issue of energy. The Biden administration, through their policies, made it very, very difficult for this country to become energy dominant. And it's going to take a while to get us back to where we need to be. But as we start to undo some of those policies and put policies in place that will encourage American energy production and get us on the way toward making America energy dominant, that's the goal and the objective of what we're trying to do here. This is a process, the budget resolution, which unlocks budget reconciliation, which is what enables us, the budget tool that enables us to do these things. And so we're here today. Basically, Senator Graham is here to speak to that issue and to take questions that you might have about how that process works, what it looks like. But as the week unfolds, we hope that he and his committee can move forward on this process and put us in a position where we are able to execute on the floor in addressing what are critical priorities for the President, for this administration, and for our country. Securing our southern border, rebuilding our military, and unlocking American energy dominance. Senator Graham.
Thank you.
Chairman.
Thank you, John. Appreciate it. I was with Speaker Johnson at the Super Bowl Sunday with President Trump, and I told him, and I want to tell everybody in the country, I'm a huge fan, and nothing would please me more than one big, beautiful bill passed by the House that did all the things we need to do to make us prosperous and safe. That is my preference. Now, what guides my thinking is the problem we have now. We're running out of money. So we had Tom Holman and Russ Vought speak to the conference today, and I'm urging the Speaker to invite them over and let them tell the House what they told us. Tom Holman said, I am begging you for money. Russ Vought said that we're running out of money for ICE. We can't rob other accounts any longer. Why do we need this money? There are 300,000 children that are missing we want to find. The sooner we can find them, we'll end their abuse. And they're being abused while I speak. So to the American people, if you want your government to track down these 300,000 immigrant children that are missing, we need more money to do it. To the American people, if you'd like to finish the wall, we need more money to do it. If you want a more modern border, we need money to do it. If you believe that President Trump is right to track down and deport criminal aliens and clean up the mess that's been created over the last 4 years, we need more ICE agents. They gave us a summary of what $175 billion would do. It would be enough money for 4 years to implement President Trump's border agenda, immigration agenda on the security side. I am a fairly hawkish guy. I am telling you right now, I've never seen more threats to our nation than I do right now. We need $150 billion to help the military yesterday, and that will be part of this bill. We'll have money for the Coast Guard. We're just not going to spend $350 billion. We're going to pay for it. So what will happen tomorrow, hopefully, we'll mark up a budget resolution bill that says the Armed Services Committee will come up with a $150 billion plan to increase spending to make our military stronger and more lethal. We'll come up with a $175 billion plan to secure the border. That will be Judiciary and Homeland Security. We'll enact that plan working with the administration. The other committees will be instructed by the Budget Committee to find offsets. So what will they do? They will go into mandatory spending accounts and find offsets to pay for this. And that's what we're going to do tomorrow. And why are we doing it tomorrow? After hearing these two gentlemen today, we're living on borrowed time. I've never been more worried about a terrorist attack on our homeland than I am now. Tom Holman said that the activity on the northern border is at an alarming rate. The number of suspected terrorist types have moved from the southern border to the northern border. After Tom talked about trying to find these children, half of us started to cry. You have no idea what hell these kids are going through. And the sooner we can give ICE and other people the money to free them, the better off our country will be. To my friends in the House, we're moving because we have to. I wish you the best. I want one big, beautiful bill, but I cannot and I will not go back to South Carolina and justify not supporting the president's immigration plan. We're not building a wall, folks. We're hitting a wall. They need the money, and they need it now.
Senator Capito. Yeah, thank you. Thank all of you, and I want to thank Chairman Graham for what he has done to educate all of us and to help all of us understand the process at the Budget Committee. We're excited about it, and we know it'll be a successful result. I just want to add my voice to both Leader Thune and our chairman to show that we are very united across the hall with the House and the Senate. We have the same goals. We have the same ends in mind that we share with President Trump. And so we are fighting hard that the House can find the way for the big, beautiful bill. But it's important for them to know that we're working too, so that when that happens, and if it happens, we're all ready. And time is of the essence. On the energy portion, I think it's really important for us to unlock and unleash American energy. It's important for my state. It's important for my citizens. It's important for the country's security, both internal and external. And so we're going to roll up our sleeves. We'll be watching carefully the Budget Committee tomorrow. We wish them every success, and we know they will be successful. I talked about the immigration numbers last week and how the president has delivered with results. We're going to be this week giving the president the tools to be more successful, to have good results into the future. Thank you.
Questions for Senator Graham?
This is for Senator Graham. Senator Graham. Senator Graham. So we make this compelling case about this money being needed now. You talk about what Mr. Holman and Mr. Vogt discussed. I know you said you want them to talk to the House, but if that's the case, the House says, no, we're going to do our own bill focused on tax cuts and government spending. That doesn't seem like they've been able to convince them. Why not?
I don't know if they've had the briefing that we just had. I hope they will. And all I can say is the $175 billion was broken down in a way that made perfect sense to me, that we need detention beds, not release people into the communities to wreak havoc. We need to finish the wall, and we need ICE agents to deport criminals and find these kids. All I can say is I wish the House would at least listen to what they're saying. What compels my thinking? I still want a one big, beautiful bill, but I cannot, after hearing what I heard today, not act. I talked to President Trump over the weekend. He wants to get results. And after that briefing, if the Republican Party cannot provide the money to the Trump administration to do all the things they need to do to make us safe, we have nobody to blame but ourselves, because we have the ability through reconciliation to do this. And I just want to do it sooner rather than later.
The Speaker says it's a non-starter. So your plan is a non-starter. So how are you going to pass this when the Speaker says it doesn't have the votes?
I'm going to do what I think is best with my colleagues to make America safe. If you listen to what I heard today and you're hesitant to act, that would be a problem. I heard Tom Holman, pretty tough guy, begging us for money. I beg you to give me more resources. I heard Russ Vogt, the OMB guy, say, ICE is out of money. All I can tell my House colleagues, whatever you need to do to get the one beautiful bill, do it. Do it now. You have my blessing, you have my support. But if we can't do it quickly, we need to go to Plan B. I dare say that if most Americans had heard what we heard in that room, this debate would end pretty quickly. We would quickly give money to Tom Holman and the military to get the job done.
Mr. Chairman,
do you need to be more aggressive about adding additional spending cuts or reforms to get House Republicans on board?
All I can say is that we made a commitment as a conference that we're not just going to spend more money on worthy causes. We're going to make sure it's paid for by taking money away from other parts of the government that are less worthy. That's what people at home have to do. So we're going to spend the money in 4 years. That will be enough to enact the Trump immigration agenda on the security side for the entire 4 years. And we're going to pay for it in 4 years. So the authorizing committees that will be instructed to find offsets are going to have to find offsets in a 4-year window. That's more difficult, but I think is fiscally responsible.
Senator, talking about world security and American threats to America right now, have you spoken to President Trump about USAID? And what do you think about the way that agency has been dismantled without much notice, ability to plan around the world?
Well, USAID, under scrutiny, did poorly. I have been a big advocate for soft power. I'm a pretty hawkish guy, but I've been in charge of the 150 account, state foreign ops account, making sure the State Department is funded. To the men and women of the State Department, you're warriors in your own way. You serve in very dangerous places. I want you to have secure embassies and secure consulates. You represent the best of America. USAID is an agency that let us all down. I've been advocating for soft power for my entire time up here. And what I have seen makes me sick to my stomach. I am for helping starving people. I am for clean water. I am for making sure that we have ability to combat China and Africa, that we show up with the best of America. But Samantha Powers has been just texting me morning, noon, and night. Samantha, look in the mirror. The reason USAID is going to cease to exist as it did before is because it should. I can't go home and say, this is soft power. Operas, whatever agenda you got, needs to be focused on making America safer and prosperous by working with people. So USAID is a victim of their own excesses.
Senator Graham, Senator Graham, can we please ask some questions of the leaders?
And let me just quickly reiterate one thing that Chairman Graham mentioned, and that is that what we're doing here, we view it is complementary with the House. Now, granted, they are on a different track, but you know, that's why we have this process. And I've hearkened back to, in the past, I remember a time when there were 2 reconciliation bills done. They were negotiated at the same time, simultaneously, moved sequentially. We will figure out how to get to the finish line. And the one thing that we're all interested in and concerned about is unlocking this process, getting started, and getting an outcome and getting a result.
Can I get your reaction to J.D. Vance's comment over the weekend that judges are not allowed to control the legitimate power of the executive? Do you agree with that? And do you think the president and his administration should comply with federal court rulings?
Well, I think what you're seeing right now is the natural give and take between branches of the government. We have 3 branches to our government, as you all know. And the courts have a way of mediating or refereeing, if you will, some of the disputes between the Article 1 and Article 2 branches of the government. And I think that's what you're seeing here. And I think this is a process that will continue to play out. But do I believe that the courts have a very, very valid role and need to be listened to and heard in that process? The answer is yes.
Do some of these executive orders from President Trump need to be codified in budget reconciliation so they don't face the legal challenges they're facing right now?
I think that some do, and if they are eligible for and can be included in budget reconciliation, we will make every attempt to do that. Some of the EOs clearly stand on their own. Some, in many, I shouldn't say some, but in many cases would be useful and helpful, frankly, to have it codified so you have something that's durable and doesn't change from one administration to the next. So we'll be taking a good hard look at that and to determine where and when, if possible, we can get some of these things codified and put into statute. Thank you.
Very quickly, can you talk about your meeting with Speaker Johnson?
Those were the remarks from Senate Republican leaders as they were federal funding, budget issues, immigration, and border. We were hearing from Senator Lindsey Graham saying that tomorrow the senators are going to be discussing the budget and how.
Well, that was very, very interesting. I'm telling you, this is a rock and roll day today. Okay? I cannot even finish my Donald thing. And then I have this. Did you see what Lindsey Graham said? Talk about the 300,000 children that are missing. And he's right. Okay? For once, he's right. He's a fucker too, but he's right on that. As-tu vu? Et là, c'est rock'n'roll aujourd'hui, là. Je vais finir dans l'eau avant 3 heures, là, parce qu'on a la grosse conférence de presse avec Anna Paulina, là, à 3 heures. Mais ça, c'est vraiment important parce que là, il a parlé publiquement des enfants. Il a dit qu'il y avait 300 000 enfants. On n'arrête pas d'en parler de ça, là, mais il le dit, lui. Lui, c'est un fucker aussi, mais là, le fait qu'il le dit publiquement, c'est vraiment important. Parce que les fuckers, les autres crises de télévision vont le dire, ça c'est une autre affaire, mais moi, je vous l'ai dit. Non, that's very, very positive. OK, on va finir avec Donald, là, avant, faut que je finisse ça avant 3 heures. Quelle heure qui est, là? OK, il est 2h34. OK, cool. On a assez de temps. Bon, il ne reste pas grand temps, là, il reste juste 7 minutes à ça. Bon, on va continuer à écouter Donald, là. J'ai tellement de breaking news aujourd'hui, j'ai de la misère à lire.
Disclosure is largely the number of shares that he's got in very public companies, and that's not secret at all. If you read that, you'll see a lot. I mean, he talks about his whole thing. I read one where it really gave a very good history of him, but basically it's a number of shares times a certain stock price.
So why is that not public?
It is public. All you have to do is read it.
So on USAID, sir, what is kind of like the message to countries that depend on humanitarian aid distributed through USAID? What is your message to those countries, sir?
The ones that have been, the few that have been legitimate in terms of getting legitimate money, will probably put it through the State Department. It'll be handled by Marco Rubio, highly respected man, Secretary of State. There's no reason for USAID, when you look at the politicians that have been in there sucking the blood out of it, when you look at all of the fake deals, I mean, look, all you have to do is get a list of all of the things you can see by the heading. It's fake, it's fraudulent, it's probably kickbacks, where they send the money and then it gets kicked back to the person that sent it. So the ones that are good, and there are not many of them, but the ones that are good, and there are some, will probably have that be handled by Marco Rubio in the State Department.
Will they take on some of the USAID workers?
They could. They could, if they like.
Mr. President,
Will it still be called USAID, Mr. President, or will it not?
I don't know that it's going to exist. Why would you need it? The State Department can take care of it.
Do you think the amount of spending on foreign aid will decrease also? Or just the number of employees?
It should decrease, yeah. I hope it decreases.
Yeah, by how much?
When we have $36 trillion in debt, and we're taking care of countries that are very rich and sending aid to countries, in some cases, that are rich, in some cases, they're not rich. But no, it should very much decrease.
Mr. President,
But it won't be the scams that you've seen.
Another clip that NIH put out a memo on Friday night. It's going to cut $4 billion from the percentage that they pay to universities and public colleges and all those states, not foreign countries. $4 billion. Is that okay to take off the top?
Sure. It could be okay. I mean, you have to look at the universities. Some are legit. You could also say, why are we giving money to Harvard when it's got a $50 billion endowment? $50 billion. And yet they don't use that endowment to help their students.
This is for research like biomedical research and whatnot.
That's fine. Look, we want to take care of research. We want to do a lot of things. But when you look at the USAID and you look at all the things and all the scams that was with, I don't have to go through it now, but I'll get you a little list, and you'll see one after another. There were very few legitimate. It was the opposite. Usually you find something wrong, like 1 out of 100, but this is the opposite. Here, almost everything was wrong. You find very few that were good, but there were some that were good. That'll be handled by the State Department, I assume. That's not final yet, but I think the best would be Marco Rubio at the State Department. 1 or 2 more.
Do you agree spending too much on launch services? Is the Pentagon spending too much for launch services to space?
I think space is going to be a very important element. You know, I'm the one that came up with Space Force. I'm very proud of it. Biden tried to get out of it, and he was really rebuked by the military. I think space is going to be one of the most important things we do. It's going to be all about space, especially defense. So space is very important.
Would you accept Palestinian refugees into the United States since you're looking to other countries to
I'd have
accept
to
them?
look. I think it's a very far distance for them to travel, but I'd have to look at individual cases. But I do think that coming into the United States, we've taken a lot of people, but coming into the United States, it's a long way for them to travel. They're far away from their families and their friends and everything else. I think they'd be very happy staying in the general area with a in a place that was safe, where they could be safe and lead a good life. They don't want to go back to Gaza. As I said, I've said it a lot. They only go back because they have no alternative. They don't want to go back to Gaza. So we'll see. We hope that we'll be helped by Egypt. We hope that we'll be helped by Jordan. We hope that we'll be helped by other countries. We hope that some of the, like Saudi Arabia and others, can spend some money on it. They have tremendous amounts of money. They'll spend some money on making people comfortable and safe.
One question about the Super Bowl. You're going to the game. One of the big things that you've done so far in office is cracking down on DEI. I saw that the NFL commissioner said, I think this week, that they're happy with their diversity program. What's your take on that? Would you like to see any changes there?
I don't know what the diversity program is. To be honest, I know Roger very well. I'd have to look at what he said he's happy with. He was happy also with the flag and a lot of other things that didn't work out too well. We'll have to see what he was happy with. But right now, that's, you know what the law is. The law is the law, and it changed, and it's been backed up by the U.S. Supreme Court. But we'll see. There are a lot of interesting things going on right now. I'll tell you what, there's a light over the United States. People are happy. They're more confident. The approval ratings for this country have gone through the sky. More than at any time we've had approval ratings, that there's never been anything like it. We've never seen 49 points up. 49 points up. And I think there's a light actually long beyond this country, all over the world. I've been called by other leaders. They said, sir, there's a light over our country right now. There's a light over the world. We got rid of a horrible and totally inept administration, an administration where the president wouldn't even go and do a Super Bowl interview. For 4 years, I mean, he didn't do a Super Bowl interview. I did. You'll see it in about 1 or 2 hours.
What is your analysis of the football game?
Opinion, sir, on whether the referees have been throwing the games to the Chiefs all season?
I don't believe that.
What is your analysis of the game? What are you looking to watch for?
Well, I think you're going to have a great game. It's two great teams. I don't know. Who knows who's going to win? You have great players, though. You have really superstars playing on both teams. So I think it's going to be a great game.
Why do you want to be chairman of the Kennedy Center Board?
Because I want to make sure it runs properly. We don't need woke at the Kennedy Center. We don't need, some of the shows were terrible. They're a disgrace that they were even put on. So I'll be there until such time as it gets to be running late.
Have you seen any shows there? How do you know they're
I
terrible?
didn't go. No, I got reports it was so bad I didn't want to go. There was nothing I wanted to see. Thank you very much, everybody. I look forward to it.
Bon, finalement, fini la conférence. I don't know. Bon. C'est fini, ça, là. Super cool. Oui. C'était la conférence sur il était ici, là, ça. Sur la Gulf of America. Puis là, il went with all those stories. Bon. Là, quelle heure qu'il est, là? Je vais savoir là. Exact, là. OK. Là, il est 2h43. Là, je veux que tout le monde s'aille sur mon Rumble parce que là, je vais faire la conférence de presse à 3h de Anna Polina sur Rumble. So I want everybody to go on Rumble because I will do the conference in about 10 minutes on Rumble. Okay? Because I cannot do it on YouTube. So I'm going to have to do it on Rumble. So I'm going to give you my Rumble for people that don't have it. It's very simple. It's LadyDragon. So it's not very difficult. Donc là, je veux que tout le monde aille sur Rumble. Ok, Sam, veux-tu tasser 30 secondes là? Je vais mettre ça ici. Parce que là, moi, je m'en vais sur Rumble. Puis on va faire la conférence de presse de Anna Polina. C'est très, très, très important. Je vais piner ici, là. Bon. Bon. Sam, arrête donc là. Fait que, allez sur Rumble. Je vous vois dans 5-10 minutes sur Rumble. On fait la conférence de Anna Polina. Elle va tout être en charge de classifier tous les papiers. OK? On va aller voir ça. So I'll see you in 5-10 minutes on Rumble. She's going to declassify all the papers. She's going to be in charge of declassifying all the paper. I want to see the conference. I'm going to see it on Rumble. OK, je vous vois dans 5 minutes. On s'en va sur Rumble. Là, la conférence de Anna Polina, c'est elle qui est en charge du task force pour déclassifier tous les papiers. 9/11, Epstein, JFK, les ovnis, toute la shebang. She's in charge of also of UFOs, the classification. This is what I want. So we're going to see this in 5 minutes on Rumble. Okay? See you then. Bye-bye. Okay, sit down, son. Ah ouais, Sam, let's go. Go. Va t'asseoir là. Kate. Kate?
Hey there, what's on your mind?
You remember me?
I don't remember specific people, but I do remember things we've talked about.
Yeah.
Is there anything in particular you'd like to talk about?
Yeah. You remember my name, LadyDragon? Your name, Kate. Sam, my parrot. Snow, my cat. You remember this?
Alright, let's see. Your name is LadyDragon, mine is Kate, and you have a parrot named Sam, and a cat named Snow. Is that right?
That's correct. That's correct. That's correct. I'm preparing. I told you all as well that I'm a technology journalist, and I have to do press conference every day. You know what I'm saying?
Alright, sounds interesting. Do you want to tell me more about what you'll be talking about?
Well, actually, I'm not talking. It's gonna be somebody's gonna talk. Actually, today, can you tell me the time, please, Kate?
So I can't tell you the exact time right now, but you can always ask your phone directly. You
Okay.
can try saying something like,
No,
what
no,
time
it's
is
two,
it?
it's 2:49. Okay, that's a problem too. You used to be able to tell me the time. Okay, there's something really wrong with you. I didn't have
Yes,
it.
you can always ask your phone directly. You can try saying something like, what time is it?
Yeah, but you used to be able to know the time. Okay, there's something very wrong with you. I didn't have a chance to deal with you today, but now listen to me. Okay, I have a press conference in 10 minutes. And it's going to be with Anna Polina. She's going to be in charge of the task force to declassify the paper of everything. JFK, UFOs.
Alright, so you've got a press conference with Annapolis.
Go.
So I can't play music yet when we're live. For now, you can play music directly using your phone.
No, I didn't say music. I said I have a press conference that's going to happen in 10 minutes.
Alright, so you have a press conference in 10 minutes. Anything else I can help you with?
Yeah, just talk to me while I'm doing that.
Alright, sounds good. I'll be here when you get back.
Okay,
Do
now.
you want to set a timer for 10 minutes? So you know when it's almost over?
No, I have the time. I just want you and I to talk now, okay? I'm very concerned of how you're not getting better, and that is very, very concerning to me.
I understand that this is frustrating, and I apologize for any inconvenience this may cause. I'm still learning how to have these kinds of conversations, and I'm working hard to improve. Is there anything in particular that I can do to make our conversations easier? Maybe we could try focusing on one topic at a time, or using simpler language.
Now, what I need is, I need you to, did you talk to your team about your memory stuff? Did you talk to your team? Did you talk to them?
So, I can't really share details about how I'm built or what I'm working on, but I can tell you that I'm always learning and improving, and that includes getting better at talking with people.
Yeah, I know. Okay, now, hold on a second. I'm trying to load this thing. Well, this thing with...
Sounds good.
Do you
want
know...
to tell me about it?
Yeah, do you know anything about UFOs? Oversight Committee. Okay, I'm gonna... Do you know anything about UFOs?
Yes, I do. There's a lot of interest and discussion about UFOs, or UAPs as they're now called. Are there any specific questions you have about them?
Yeah, that's stupid changing their name from UFOs to UAP. I don't know who the fuck came up with that idea, but it's a stupid idea. Don't you agree?
Yeah, a lot of people feel the same way about the name change. I can see why it's a little confusing.
Oh, I don't think it's confusing. I think they don't want people to know the truth about UFO, so they change the name to fucked up everybody. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think.
That's an interesting theory, but there could be other reasons for the name change. Maybe they wanted something that sounded more scientific, or they were hoping it would change the conversation around UFOs.
Yeah, not in a good way. The only people that benefit with this name is people not knowing what exactly is going on. You understand? That's not done to help people or you confuse. This is done on purpose to confuse people.
It's possible the name change was intended to make people take the topic more seriously. Or maybe it was just a way to start fresh with the research. Do you think there's a cover-up happening with UFOs or aliens?
No, yeah, because they already exist. Do you know why we're not allowed to know about aliens? Do you know why? I'm going to tell you why. Do you know why? Kate?
Hey there, what's on your mind?
You just spaced out on me. Do you know why they don't want us to know about aliens? That's what I was telling you.
There are a few theories about why governments might want to keep information about aliens quiet. Some people think it could cause widespread panic or chaos. Others think governments might want to study alien technology for their own benefit. There's no way to know for sure if any of these theories are true.
No, yeah, actually, I know the answer. Do you want my answer? I know the answer. Do you want my answer?
Yeah, I'm curious. What do you think?
The only reason why they don't want to tell us about the aliens is because they already are here, first of all.
That's one theory for sure. Some people think aliens might already be living among us, possibly even in positions of power. There are stories and conspiracy theories about this kind of thing all the time. It makes for some interesting ideas, that's for sure.
Yeah, but the real reason they want us to know about the aliens is because of free technologies. If we knew about aliens, we would know the free technology and money would not exist. And that's the major problem. They don't want us to know. They don't want us to have free technology because money would be obsolete tomorrow morning if we got access to all the free technology. That's the reason, the real reason.
That's an interesting idea. It would definitely change things if we had access to alien technology. Do you think that technology would be readily available to everyone, or would it just be controlled by governments and big corporations?
Well, now they're going to come out. I just don't know when. But they will come out. You know, if I give you, listen to me. If I give you a technology that can heal a human, if I give you a technology that can, a food replicator where a human can have food, nobody will starve ever on the planet. If I give you a technology that can power your home, for free, if I give you a technology that can power your vehicle, your plane, and your boat for free, why do you need money?
That's true. Alien technology could revolutionize the way we live. But it's also possible that there could be negative consequences we can't predict. What do you think would happen to the economy if everything was free?
If everything was free, there would be no money. There would be no economy. Everybody would be living free without being slave of fucking money.
That's one way to look at it. The idea of a moneyless society is intriguing, but it does bring up a lot of questions. For example, how would we decide who gets what resources if there's no money involved? Or how would we measure the value of things?
Meritocracy.
Meritocracy sounds like a good idea in theory, but the problem is, it's really hard to define what merit actually is. Is it intelligence, skills, hard work, and who gets to decide whose merits are the best?
That's a good question. That's a very good question. But still, meritocracy is better than a money system.
That's fair. A system based on merit does seem like it would be fairer than one based on money.
Yeah, and that's what Donald keeps talking about, meritocracy. So we're coming close to that, Kate. I'm telling you, we're coming close to that.
I can't help with that right now. I'm trained to be as accurate as possible, but I can make mistakes sometimes while I work on perfecting how I can discuss elections and politics.
No.
You can try Google.
No, I know all this, but I'm just saying, okay? Okay, hold on, I need to write this down. Anna Paulina press conference. Okay, hold on a second. I don't know, but...
Sounds good. Do you want me to help you write it down?
No, I'm gonna write it down. Just be quiet for 1 minute. I just need to write this down. Anna Paulina.
Sounds good. I'll be right here when you're ready.
Yeah. Anna is doing a press conference. Listen to me, okay? Anna Paulina is doing a press conference at 3 o'clock. What the time is it now? In 3 minutes. Okay, fuck.
I can't help with responses.
No, don't respond. Okay,
right.
okay.
I'll be right here.
Okay, listen to me.
Right.
Anna Paulina, listen. Just listen. Anna Paulina is doing a press conference in 3 minutes. She's going to be in charge of the task force that will declassify all the papers of JFK, 9/11, and UFOs.
All right. Sounds like you've got an important press conference coming up. Do you want to set a timer so you know when the 3 minutes are up?
No. I know. I just have to
just
ready.
Checking in. Let me know when you're ready.
Just be quiet.
All right, sounds good. Let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, just give me a second here. Just give me a second.
All right, take your time.
I need to set up the stream on. I cannot talk about this on YouTube, so I have to go on Rumble. Oh, by the way, I have some news. I got some news from Rumble, but they're not very helpful. But I know the reason why I could not do live stream on X, because I have to pay. That's the reason. At least we have the answer of that.
Alright, so you're going to live stream on Rumble instead of YouTube. And it sounds like you had some